Hello, guys, and welcome to the third Sneaker-Nomics podcast. I'm here with Ryan.
Hello, everyone.
And I'm actually looking at quite an interesting article here about the future of shoes and the shoe technology. And it's called Nike Avoids Vaporfly Running Shoe Ban Ahead of Tokyo 2020 Olympics.
Yeah, no, it's quite an interesting topic, actually. With the sub-2-hour marathon run by
Kipchoge. I think it's Kipchoge.
We'll go with that. And his shoes are actually banned by this new guideline produced by the World Athletics everything.
Organisation.
So that one, we'll go with that one. And basically, what it states is the carbon fibre plates that are used in those shoes are no longer allowed. There's only allowed one per shoe, whereas in the ones that he wore for his marathon, there was three, as well as breaching a new guideline, which is also a 40mm thick sole. Obviously, this changed the game a lot, as I believe 31 of the 36 marathon podium winners
actually
have been wearing these shoes. So it's clearly a dominant shoe in the industry. And
yeah, you know, that actually, you were talking about dominant. That actually in itself interests me. Like, there's got to be so many things that Adidas are coming out with, and yet 31 out of the 36 people are wearing the exact same pair of shoes.
Well, it's not even like just Adidas with the other shoes. You've got massive running brands like Asics and stuff like that. I'm sure some of these runners are wearing stuff like that. Adidas just isn't there with the super high performance shoes that Nike is at the moment. As I said, 31 of the 36 are using that exact style. It is crazy.
Yeah, you'd be surprised though, isn't it? Because 31 of them are wearing those shoes, and yet none of them will be allowed. There are people, people train for years for the Olympics. It only comes once every 4 years, and yet they're going to have to change quite a lot of their technique, I'm guessing, for these.
I believe it's not drastically different. I think there's less foam in it, and obviously there's only the one carbon fibre plate. Yet, I think it still will provide that massive edge. And the key thing in this as well is that it has to be publicly available for 4 months before it can be used in official events. So that's why they are releasing it very soon, I believe, obviously to be within July before the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. And it just means that it's going to be available to all athletes. The issue being if athletes are sponsored by, say, Adidas or something, they're going to be behind. I think that's why they've cracked down a little bit to say, okay, you can't be this far ahead with this.
Bit of regulation kind of thing. That kind of puts us onto our main topic today, which is not only the future of technology in shoes, but just the future of the sneaker market. What do we see in the future? What are we seeing in the market put out by, the giants, Adidas and Nike? I've got another article, and that's talking about innovations revolutionizing the future of footwear. First one up is the Nike HyperAdapt. Yeah. So those are obviously, their main selling point is the self-lacing kind of thing. Do you think, first of all, I've got to ask, do you think that's all a bit of a scam,
It's a bit of a gimmick.
Yeah, it's a bit of a gimmick.
It is a bit of a gimmick. I mean, obviously, you can have this perfectly tied up shoe because it molds to your foot in more of a way that typical laces do. And maybe in high-performance sports where it's very necessary is a thing. But I think I've heard from some people that they do come loose and you have to tighten them with your phone. It's all electrical based, so there is some issues with that, obviously. If they become water damaged, I'm not so sure, and everything like that. But obviously the first electrically laced up shoes that were released were the Back to the Future style ones, weren't they?
Oh yeah, the ones worn by LeBron, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't remember who it was. But they resell for like 15k nowadays. Whereas these new ones that are coming out, I think they sell retail-wise for about $300.
They're going for, the Tinker Blue ones are going for $245.
Yeah.
About $300. But there are the HyperAdapt 1.0 special edition first release that are going for around $700. Yeah. So it is a big variance.
There's also, I think the retail price was $340. I'd love to...
Yeah, no, I think the retail price was around the $300 mark, £250 kind of thing.
So they are expensive shoes, and for practicality, is it really worth it? I mean, does it take long to do up laces? I'm not sure.
Well, I think, it's like, I always think of it as kind of like renewable energy. It's like, it's the future, but we haven't quite got there yet. We're like experimenting with new things, and we've not quite pinned it down to the perfect thing, but we've got new renditions. So I've got here Under Armour, and they've, in 2018, February 2018, which now is 2 years ago, they've got like a pair of shoes with sensors to record metrics for runners. So, for example, pace, distance, steps,
Yeah.
all in your shoes and like on an app and stuff. But obviously they're not famous enough, so people probably don't like the shape or they don't like the fit. It's all one thing or the other that's not quite perfect yet, and that's kind of
Under Armour as a shoe brand. It isn't quite up there yet with the likes of Adidas and Nike. They have brought out some nice shoes. I'm not going to lie. One of my friends had a pair, and I tried them on. They were very comfortable. Again, they were about
I think
200 quid. But
Steph Curry's
obviously
sponsored by them.
It's huge. You think such a huge star would promote the new brand, yet they just don't seem to be gaining the traction of obviously the Jordans and Adidas as well. But yeah, I think a thing to mention obviously is Nike coming up with all this new technology. They have the latest self-lacing shoes, all the new foams and all that stuff. But where's Adidas doing all this? I mean, they've had their boots.
They've got the 4D 1.0s that just came out with the runs. But for many people, the 4Ds themselves, I've got a pair of them myself, but I had to think about it a lot before I bought them because the price is a bit steep for what is quite a similar shoe. The midsole is the same. It's just the sole that is a bit different, and they're trying to go quite far with it. But I'm not quite sure that's the future for them. They definitely need to kind of rethink maybe the boosts or what they're using.
Yeah, it just seems to be that all that Adidas are doing right now is like with their Yeezy brand and everything. It's just releasing the same things over and over again. There's nothing new. They try bringing out new Ultra Boosts, but again, they're very similar to old ones. The hype's died down a lot. This has come a bit stale recently.
I mean, you can look at it's quite interesting. StockX always provide this kind of graph at the top of the brands how they're doing. Adidas is doing quite a bit worse than Nike, but Adidas or Adidas, they will come back with something new and better. But
Sure they will.
Back onto the future of shoes more broadly. Actually, I've got an interesting article about Virgil Abloh, and this is not just about shoes, but this is about streetwear as a whole. Because as you know, as I know. Shoes is a big part of the streetwear hypebeast fan base. It's huge. All part of one thing. Off-White and Nike collabed on it. This is obviously where they started with this whole new trend. Yet the guy who started the whole thing almost, Virgil Abloh, now the designer for Louis Vuitton.
Yeah, huge fan.
He himself says, to quote, "The streetwear trend is definitely gonna die next year."
It is crazy. It is absolutely crazy.
Yeah, so he's the founder and creative director of Off-White, and he's the menswear artistic director for Louis Vuitton. So, your Mentors, your Off-White Air Forces, the ones that cost $1 or $2 grand, those are coming from him. Yet he's saying that, here it says he's part of the major force for the post-streetwear movement. But he was the one who... Most people with streetwear now would have...
something from his collection, really. I mean, he's just such a huge designer in the modern streetwear kind of industry, I suppose. But hearing it from him it's strange. But fashion changes all the time. It's not something that remains constant. There'll always be people that will wear kind of the streetwear and all that stuff. But it moves with the times. You look back 10 years ago, people weren't wearing what they're wearing now. People look back and think, oh my God, why did I wear such a thing? And I think he's right in saying that at the moment, streetwear is huge. It's everywhere. It's massive news. There's social media.
Yeah.
So
are you saying it's like a bubble? Like it's gonna grow, but it's just a trend and not a mainstay in the fashion empire? Because there are a few things that will stay. Jeans, for example, jeans they're going to be here for a long time. But is streetwear not going to be one of those things?
I think in the sense it is today, it might be a bit different. You've got the brands like Off-White and Supreme, and obviously they're doing fantastically now. But as soon as that hype dies down, is there going to be as much
technology, the internet? Yeah. There's so many things happening all the time.
I think a big thing is collector's items. Is what a lot of sneakers are becoming. People will buy these sneakers for 10 grand, and then they won't wear them because they're worth 10 grand. It's an asset. It'll go up in value as there's less dead stock available. There's just people aren't investing in these shoes because they want to wear them because they're so hyped up. It's more, I want this to sit on my shelf and look pretty, and then I'll sell it on without losing any money.
Very interesting stuff. That actually links to the interview we did, and that's going to be one of the touching subjects for our next episode, actually.
Yeah.
But that was just a brief insight into the future of shoes, what we've seen, what we think, what could be the future and what may not be, and kind of where we stand. I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, look forward to seeing you next time.